fellow people who inhabit this earth and you lovely
Oh
mammals
my
on
god.
fish. I am JTH and he is Nightwing,
Okay,
right?
you've done that like 7 times in a row. Now anybody who's watched only the last 7 doesn't know which one is which.
uh, right now we're going to be talking about LCK Week 3. We haven't talked about LCK since I was completely right about Griffin butt destroying SKT. Call me a league prediction god, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So he got mad when I predicted Griffin to just curb stomp SKT.
We both predicted Griffin. I don't know what you want from me.
I said 2-0. You said it was going to be close.
I didn't know that was a flop by SK. That was not a good SKT right there. No one expected SKT to be that bad.
So the standings right now are Griffin is 6-0, Sandbox 5-1, SKT 4-2, Kingzone is 4-2, but that's kind of a sloppy 4-2. Hanawa Life is 3-3, Damwon is 2-4, KT is 2-4, Genji's 2-4, Afrika's 2-4, and Genera's in their own tier of 0-6. So what do you think about these standings right now?
I mean, are you asking me to comment? What are you asking me to comment on?
Do you think these standings are correct, or do you feel like
I think that they are correct because that's the ranks right now. I mean, that's how the games have played out.
I feel like another team could have taken another team's spot based on their performance. Like Damwon could.
I think Damwon's gonna fall down a few, and I don't know. Like as it stands right now, the type of games that Sandbox kind of plays, I don't know if that's sustainable. Like it's not.
Really?
It's just yeah. I mean, I think that the reason I like Griffin is because they're not only early game aggressive. Aggression. They're honestly on top of that. I like the way they kind of move around the map. They have kind of like it's not, like what they do with their leads. They're pretty smart about it. They know how to push they transition their small amounts of leads into like they kind of snowball it into a bigger lead by like pushing it from lane to lane. I mean, Sandbox honestly they do that to an extent, but it doesn't seem as they don't seem as crisp. They rely more on their mechanical skill, and I think that with OnFleek on the team, I think that's possible. But it's only going to last for so long. Dove is not to the same level as the best mid laners in the league. I think he's good, but he's not good enough.
I don't know. It feels like Sandbox is only good because Joker is just making all their decisions macro-wise.
I mean,
like if they had a new support, if they had any different support, I feel like this team would be in the same boat as Damwon.
I don't know if I know about that. I think they're pretty decent. But for
like Joker is just mindlessly goes in and just be aggressive, and then he hopes his team follow up.
Well, I mean, I think that Sandbox is more like this meta kind of fits them because the early game aggressive stages of the game are just that's essentially what thrives in this meta. But I just don't think they have good enough players to keep continually going on this. Like on Fleek, Dove is pretty decent. Ghost has been playing a lot better than he used to, but I think that these aggressive stances are gonna start faltering once like the later on stages of the game. Whereas as I think Griffin. I don't think they're going to end at number 1 in the entire league.
I think they will.
I think that SKT is going to beat them because I still think that they have.
That now, I didn't even think that when we were doing our power rankings. I was like, Griffin's probably going to be number 1. And then,
at the beginning, yeah.
Lo and behold, prediction.
Who predicted them not to win at the beginning of the year? This is not.
Our power rankings had them at number 1, and I was like, we probably should put Griffin number 1.
No, like, I said at the end of the year, I said that Griffin would be the strongest team coming out for the season. That's what everybody predicted. That's just the case because they've been together the longest. What's up?
Yeah, SKT at number 1.
Yes, and I said by the end of the split, they will come together and win. That's what I said.
We have hope.
I still think that's going to be the case. I think that Griffin, again, is really strong, but I think the SKT's coming a lot more into form. I think that a big reason as to why they didn't win is because they continually put Teddy on these characters that I don't think he's good on. The meta also doesn't suit Faker's playstyle. I don't like him on the hard engaged characters.
The meta also doesn't need Victor, and yet he's here.
I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of these things. I just think that they're not favorable to SKT right now. On top of the fact that I still think that SKT's coaching staff is trying to find a style for them. But I think that
I don't know.
I just think that's what I think is the case. Again, it could just happen, and Griffin just goes. They never lose a game, and they go to Worlds and win. That's possible. I mean,
Faker said that they have a ton of stuff that they just haven't showed yet because it's just the regular season.
What I'm saying, yeah. Again, I think that. I mean, honestly, the biggest surprise to me is, although I knew Clid was very mechanically skilled, he's really just he's the driving force behind SKT right now.
Because Khan looks like he's boosted.
I think Khan's played well a few games. I think people like to over-exaggerate. I don't think he's terrible. I think he's played fine on a lot of games. It's just when he gets on these characters that were hard engaged, he was not good. But he's looked pretty great on some of the carries.
Well, Griffin lost their first game. It wasn't to any of the top teams. It was actually to it was top team. Sandbox beat them.
Sandbox is 5-1 right now. Yeah, they're top team.
Sandbox beat them in. They didn't lose a series because Griffin is 6-0, but Sandbox gave them their first actual game loss. It's been how many games have they played? They played a ton.
This is their 13th game.
Yeah, in 13 games they've lost one. This is their first. That was their first actual game loss and since the Kespa Cup. So they were on a tear, but the next game, Griffin just mindlessly destroyed them.
I like Sandbox. I really do think they're like I like the style of play. I feel like it's similar to what like Clutch Gaming does, although it's 10 times better. I just like the it's 10 times better. It's like
the stand.
No, I mean I like the mindless aggression that Sandbox puts on the table though. Like it's really fun to watch. Like the reason that I think it's gonna be really good against some of these teams that are like kind of more macro oriented is because you don't know what they're gonna do because I don't think they know what they're gonna do half the time. Like it's just
Joker.
Joker makes strong play. I think Dove has been a pretty I think people are kind of discrediting what he's doing for this team. Like I don't know if it's gonna be mostly because Galio's in the meta, but I've liked him on that champion. On Fleek is the best is probably in the top 3 for junglers right now. I just think I mean him, Clid, and I think him, Clid, and Tarzan are probably the top 3 junglers right now. I really like again. I think that Sandbox is going to start struggling later on when they can't rely so much on Fleek, and then when Galio gets taken out of meta, we have less engaged choices. Like mid lane's going to be a lot less sustainable with Galio and all that stuff. So I'd like to see what they turn out like. I don't remember what this whole video was supposed to be about anymore because we kind of got sidetracked.
I think that Kingzone is not the 4-2 people are looking at, and they would just be looking at score and not looking at actual gameplay.
I mean, honestly,
Deft is hard carrying, and Pawn is playing better than he should, but that's pretty much it for the team. The team is, I don't know.
I agree with that.
They're not like 4-2 material. I feel like Damwon or Hanawa Life should be 4-2, but it's just based off like schedule. Because
Hanawa, I don't think Hanawa Life, in my opinion, is not better than Kingzone. I think that Damwon might be to an extent close, but I don't think Hanawa Life's better than them. I think that Kingzone honestly might not even end up in the playoffs by the end of the year, but I do think they are better than Hanawa Life. I think Hanawa Life played better than they should have at the beginning of the year. I don't.
Let's see.
They started the season out 3-1. Remember that, and now they're 3-3.
They played SKT, and they played who else?
Their losses came from Griffin, Sandbox, and SKT.
Those are the top teams in the league.
Yeah, but I honestly don't. I mean, again, they were the first team I think actually gave Griffin a struggle.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think that's the first team Griffin honestly struggled against. But again, I really don't see Hanawa Life staying as this top tier team. Like they got absolutely demolished by SKT. It wasn't close. Like I liked what's his name? I liked what's his name was bringing to the table during the Thal was bringing to the table on Ken in the second game to this against SKT, but it wasn't that's not enough. I don't think Lava's good enough. I think that Key has made some pretty decent Braum disengages / engages in the games too, and they won a few few of the fights off that, but it just wasn't enough because I feel like all around the lane, in the lanes, they just struggle too much.
You got
Sangyun
score right now is weird. Griffin has a 92% win rate, Sandbox 73, SKT has 64, Kingzone 62, Hanawa Life 46, Damwon 43. Then you have 43 with KT, 38 with Genji, 31 with Afrika, and 8% for Jennair.
They did win a series. I mean, a game. I'm kind of impressed about that.
See, that's the thing. Well, who did we predict to have a comeback out of the older guards of KT?
We said that Genji and...
We said KT.
No, Genji wouldn't make it for sure, and then we said Afrika wouldn't make it?
Yes, that's the problem. At that point in time, I didn't think Afrika would kick their ADC or whatever. I didn't think Spirit would go playing AP Jarvan support.
See, I mean, we said... Did we not say Afrika wouldn't make it, though?
I said Afrika. Who would bounce back?
We said KT and Kingzone, didn't we? No, we said Afrika, yeah. I mean, again, Spirit went off on AP Jarvan, and they won that game. Let's be honest. That's
yeah, but like that's not gonna happen against better teams.
It's not, but I'm honestly like
he's not that good anymore. He's really like.
I feel like Spirit's playing fine. I feel like the biggest problem with this team is an inconsistent support. Like they're
Yeah, what happened to the team? Didn't their ADC like quit or something?
No, Amy's still playing.
What the heck's going on?
It's Jelly and Proud. Neither one of them. Jelly just wasn't a good pickup. Jelly was already proven to be not a good support, and then Proud tried to take over the situation. They brought him in because they needed somebody. Like I don't know what the reason, but Proud was also terrible. So essentially, they picked up they used Dread as the main jungler and put Spirit in the support.
Oh my god!
Apparently,
Clowns.
look at the roles it says he plays. It says he plays 4 of them. It says he plays support, jungle, ADC, and mid lane.
This team is full of clowns. How do you take these? How does anybody take these guys seriously?
I mean, I honestly enjoy watching the Freezes games because they always do weird stuff, but
like I feel bad for UCal because people did say UCal was a little bit overrated because he was just on KT with a bunch of superstars.
I mean, no one can really say that if they watch the games.
I mean, he honestly was really good. He clapped like everybody.
He turned the team around when he came onto the team. Let's be honest.
He actually got them their first title. They hadn't had a title in years.
It wasn't just the title. The dynamic of the team just completely changed once he became part of the team.
But he's not doing that now on Afrika, though.
I don't know what's going on with this team in general.
I don't think it's his fault they're losing, though. He's still playing fine.
I mean, he's not setting up anything is the big problem. I think that...
Because the veteran... The reason why people say he was overrated is because the veterans might have told him to do all those things that he was doing.
I mean, he was winning lane and smashing it at that, so I don't think the veterans can tell him to do that. Hey, go win your lane. No, I don't think that
like map direction and stuff like that. That's stuff that they could have been telling him to do.
It's fair enough. I don't think that was his biggest strength, but I do think that it was a very good thing that he did. So I could see that being being one of the cases.
So since our subscribers know you hate Peanut, Darshan, and
I don't even hate Peanut. I love Peanut.
Oh, yeah, they know you hate Sneaky.
I don't hate Sneaky.
But he likes you.
Sneaky made weird groaning sounds when we took a picture. He said, like right when I put my arm around him.
He said I was cute. Can we use that in the first part of the video?
No. Why do you want to do that?
Why do you not want to do that? We'll get a bunch of guys that are like, oh my gosh, you met Amelie?
What happened was he went up to her and forced her to say his intro.
No, I did not. She said, yeah. And because we met before, she was all over me. Oh my god.
Oh, she was all over. She was like, well, come no.
And when we go to All Stars at one point, and I talk.
I'm never going to All Stars.
Oh my god.
You can run there.
This year, but stupid Smash Brothers came out on the same day.
Who said almost? No one agreed with you.
We were going to go. We were thinking about going.
I never said yes once. I do not want to go to All Stars.
We didn't consider your opinion.
I'm the driver. Who's gonna go with you?
We could have just had Jimmy or the other dude drive.
Jimmy didn't want to go.
If we paid for his ticket, we would have.
Yes, would be me paying for his ticket. Okay,
oh my goodness.
You're sidetracking me.
But yeah, besides Obli being all over me, how do you? They know Peanut. Do you think your opinion of him has changed?
No.
That leads in game.
I mean, great. He played one good game. I still think he's played horrible this year.
But you don't like flashes over the Baron Pit? Blind?
That was awesome. That's very fun.
Yeah. He flashed over after seeing the Baron at like 300 health. He still couldn't smite it away. I still don't know why you commit to flash.
It just doesn't make sense why, like, I did not like him the year before. I really think he should have cashed out in one of the major regions because it's obvious his play has degraded. Like, I don't think he's been to the same level. And when he was the best jungler in the world, he has not been to that level since Rock Tigers.
He slowly came back to that when Kingzone had
he was good on form. I think he was good on Kingzone, just not amazing. He's never been amazing since Rock Tigers.
I still feel like KT are like they're not playing Smeb right now because he's just been looking atrocious. I
think that KT is still might be able to bounce back. I think they're going to be one of the teams to do it.
They should have not lost to Genji. They threw a lot in that series.
I don't know what's going on with Genji either because in all honesty, they should be terrible.
It feels like it's rulers. It's the same situation Teddy had last year with Jenner. It's pretty much ruler and Deft on their team solo carrying. Like in that series against KT and Genji, it was pretty much ruler versus like who's on KT? Freaking gosh, who's the carry on KT? BDD, and it felt like Ruler versus Deft on Kingzone, just like, and Ruler versus UCal on Afrika. Like, Ruler is 1v9ing, but it's not, he's good enough to do it, but his team is just so heavy. Like life is just terrible. I didn't think it was this bad, but
Life's terrible. I mean, a lot of these newer players coming into the Korean scene are, I mean, not amazing if you're not counting like the actual challenger scene teams.
Griffin and Damwon and Sandbox had some pretty good players.
I'm not counting any of them because they're actual teams. I'm talking about just individual players. Like the
yeah.
people that have filled in these spots, like Jelly and Proud. I guess they're not really new. I don't think Jelly's not new, but I don't know enough about Proud. So
you're too proud to admit it.
Haha. Yeah, but Jelly's not new. I don't know why they picked him up. Proud did not look amazing when they put him on. Like again, Genji, they picked up Life. He's been terrible. Like
Life's been really bad.
A lot of these teams are just like I don't understand. I feel like Korea should have one of the better like infrastructures for building up teams since they have some of the best like talent coming out of
in the world.
Like
a lot of our players are still regarded as some of the best of all time.
Yeah, like there's just so much talent coming out of the scene, but we just don't see anything happening.
What else is surprising to you by seeing that? Because a lot of people have talked about our MVP stuff. Okay, so MVP right now leading it is Klid leads it by 600. Ghost is second at 500. Then you have Ruler at 500. Then you have Chovy at 400. Then you have Deft at 400. And then you have a bunch of other people kind of bridging in that gap. But the highest people right now in contention for MVP are Klid, Ghost, Ruler, Chovy, Deft, Tarzan, On Fleek, Summit, and Teddy. And then after that is BDD, King, Lava, and Nuguri, Tucson, Viper. And that's pretty much it, rounding it out for the 10 MVPs that are the highest points in the standing. So which one would you not agree should be there out of all those people?
I mean, I think that if we're going to pick somebody who's not going to be at the top, or what number are we stopping at?
I mean, there was 10. So
I think that
there's others below Viper that I just weren't considering, like Amy.
Yeah. I'm really
Canyon. I was
going to be honest. I'm really glad Ghost has turned his season around because I like
is
that.
He the most valuable? He's not the most valuable player to Sandbox, though.
I mean, he's been doing a massive amount for this team, though. Like,
but is he the single most valuable player?
I think On Fleek has been doing stuff and getting the team going, but Ghost has been cementing their lead. That's just the case. Like when On Fleek has been getting the team going, he's been cementing the lead. I mean, obviously, I don't think he's the single most valuable player on this team, and I don't think that's going to be the case later on, but I do think what he's done has been incredible. I do think he deserves to be up there right now. Again, I think the number one player, and the person who's at number one, I think Klid is going to get MVP this year. He's the one, pretty much what he's been the driving force behind SKT, what they've been doing this year. I don't see him losing that spot. And I see SKT
being in contention for third.
I don't, because I mean, again, I think
he's the most valuable player on the team.
He definitely is, but I think that a big flaw with the MVP voting in what's it called?
Korea.
In Korea is that when these lower teams win games, it's easier for if there's one singular good person, they don't even have to win a series. He doesn't have to bring them games, but if there's only one good player on the team, he's always going to get those MVP votings, and I think that's the case with Ruler.
Look at his actual gameplay. Ruler's playing.
I agree with that. He is the best player on that team, and if Genji makes it to playoffs, I agree he should get it, or even to like the higher player, 100% he should get it. But if they don't make it to playoffs, he still has the ability to get it because. Like, if they just take games off and don't win the series, he's going to get MVP every time. And
but
he's going to
be a bad person to give it MVP to.
If he doesn't make playoffs, he doesn't deserve it. I'm sorry.
I don't see that's the problem though. He's still valuable to his team.
He is very valuable, but again, I think that MVP should stand for something that you've you've been valuable to your team and bringing them to a situation that they like you're the valuable asset to what they achieved this year.
What's weird though, because Tarzan is below Ruler. Tarzan is also below Chovy and Deft.
But
would you agree that Tarzan, the most driving force of Griffin, should be below Chovy and Deft?
Chovy's been playing absolutely tremendous this year, and he's not.
Tarzan's been great too.
Tarzan's not even below Chovy. They're tied.
I mean, technically, yeah, but
yeah, they're tied right now. Like they have 400 points each.
Should Chovy and Tarzan be below Ruler though?
I think that the reason that Ruler's getting so many points is because he is the singular person on this Genji team. Like, it's not even sets. You get. What's up?
Deft too. The same thing goes with Deft too.
Like, if you only take one game off per series but lose every series, you could easily win MVP as long as you're the only good player. That's just the case. You don't have to win.
It's so flawed.
It's extremely flawed. That's the whole reason I don't like it. Like, even if you lost every single game, Like, just realize, like, all you have to do is, if you lost every single game of the series, of the year, but you won just, like, well, not series, set of the, like, the year, but then you won, like, a singular game in them, you could get, like, a massive amount of MVP votes off that. And I don't think that should be enough, because I think that a valuable asset to your team, again, you are, but you were only valuable to an extent of getting them this far. If you can't get them into the playoffs at the very least, I don't think you deserve it.
I think that if you look at Chovy, Def, Tarzan, On Fleek, and Summit, and Teddy, those players have the ability to get your team into playoffs. Def's been playing good, but I still don't think Def should be here as above Tarzan.
I mean, Def, Kingzone literally has two good players again. I mean, actually, Rascal and Cuz have been playing fine recently. But, and Pon actually popped off a game, so I can't say that.
On Fleek should not be below Deft. That's the thing. Teddy should not be below
If
Deft.
we're talking about who's better, yes, I think that, I don't even know if they're playing better. Like, again, I think that Deft is playing really well. I think that a big problem is I think the MVP systematic situation in Korea, I use systematic improperly, I'm sorry. But the kind of, like, the way that the MVP voting works in Korea is really flawed. I don't like it, but I think that Deft has definitely at least earned contention. He's played fine.
Now, the lowest players are among the lower, like, you have Showmaker, Sword, Thal, Zenit, Dread, Grace. Even Grace is up there. Grace is 100 MVP points, but Grace is not even better than, what's the other good dude on Genera? Linderong. But, you also
Malaring is the best player on Jin Air.
like, Life has 100 MVP.
All you have to do is be good in one game and you get that much. I'm sorry. Like, that's all it takes.
That's why I don't take their MVP, like voting it seriously.
I just feel like it should be a voting thing between coaches. Like I think fan voting kind of gets skewed because popularity. I think that coaches should have the majority vote, then players, and then I think that should be
players, coaches, players, and then the actual Riot Games of Korea staff that should vote for it too.
I'm fine with that. Like, I just feel like these 100 points per being the best player on the team wins just aren't enough for me to really be cemented in this is a good idea.
Like, definitely Ghost has 500 points, but Ghost is not playing better than Tarzan on Griffin. That's ridiculous.
I think Ghost has been playing really well.
He's not been playing better than Tarzan. That's the thing.
I mean, I agree with that, but
Yeah,
I still think
he's been playing better than Summit or Teddy.
he's definitely playing better than Summit. I don't know about
Teddy.
Teddy had a few bad games, and I don't think I don't think Ghost has been really carried this year is the good thing.
All right, so that kind of covers that, and then
Covers what? What did we even talk about?
So that'll cover that, and then we'll go over the week 4 predictions kind of really quick. Hanawa Life versus Griffin. What do you think about that one? Just as like, kind of quick or whatever.
Are you in a rush?
Not really, but it's up. I mean, just trying to get in there.
Oh, just try to get in there.
Hanawa Life versus Griffin. What do you think about that one?
It's Hanawa Life versus Gen G in week 4.
Hanawa Life versus Gen G. Sorry guys, my eyes are killing and death.
You're such a loser, dude.
I'm just kidding. Hanawa Life versus Gen G. What do you think about this one?
I think that Hanawa Life is. I honestly don't know about this. I think that both of these teams are at the same at this point. I think that Gen G's probably worse, but not by a very large amount.
I think Hanawa Life gets like too much crapped on because they're bad. They had a tough schedule. They're not better than the top 3 teams in the league though.
I think that Gen G is obviously worse than them, but I don't think that I'm really convinced enough about Hanawa Life to give them a very big advantage. I think that, like, again, their wins have came off of what? Let's see. Yeah.
First week overperformance.
No, they smashed a terrible Afrika, in my opinion. They beat Jin Air, and then they beat KT. Like, I think those are pretty terrible teams, but again, those are still like 3 of the mid-tier teams, so except for Jin Air. So I think that, again, that shows something, but to the same extent, I'm not too convinced about Hanawa Life. Again, I think they.
You're gonna say Gen G win.
I'm gonna say that I haven't really said what I'm gonna say. I think that I think that Hanawa Life's gonna win, but if they do end up losing, if Hanawa Life ends up losing, I would not be too surprised because I do think that Ruler's playing better than pretty much everybody on Hanawa Life right now.
What do you think about Fly?
I think that Fly is pretty average or mediocre. I'm not too impressed with him. I think
that Gen G will win this, but I think it'd be like 2-1.
Why are you giving Genji any credit?
I think Genji as slowly uh, rulers. I think ruler's good enough to carry the team at least.
I think that
At
Ruler's
least
better than
against them.
yeah. Again, Ruler's better than everybody on Halal Life, but that's only to an extent that I don't know how much credit I can give that. Like Hanawa Life just has an all around better team. And I think they're still again more decisive. I think that if we saw the Thal/Key engages onto SKT, I think if they genuinely were not so far behind, they could have won some of these games. Like they engaged into Baron Pit, they engaged in bot lane during game 2. Those were a lot of good stuff coming out of Hanawa Life, but it just amounted to nothing because they're too far behind at that point. But I think against the team who I think they're not that far behind in the laning phase, like Genji, I really think they could pull this win. So I'm gonna give a 2-1 to Hanawa Life.
I'm gonna give 2-1 to Genji.
That's fair. All right, and then the second game,
SKT versus Kingzone.
I mean, SKT looked really good in that second series, in the Hanawa Life series. Honestly, even though I think
I think Kingzone are getting a little bit overrated just because of. I don't know. They're getting overrated because Pawn has had some good games.
Yes, but
he hasn't played this way in ages. I'm not ready to go like, okay, Pawn's a really good mid laner right now. He hasn't played like this in a long time. He's got to earn. He should earn that back. Like people just are really quickly, easily able to give people credit, all the credit back that they lost when not discrediting every like horrible game they've had before that.
I don't know. Yeah, I think that again, I still think that Kingzone is a step above a few of these middle tier teams, but not by much. And I don't know if it's gonna last till the end of the year, but I think that Deft is probably one of the best ADCs in the league right now. And then he has a good support next to him. I really like.
Tucson's been kind of bad this split though.
Well, it doesn't matter. I think that Tucson again, he's gonna face check all the war. He's gonna face check the bushes so Deft doesn't do it.
He's gonna face check all the bushes.
That's his specialty. No, but I think that
SKT win this like 2-0.
I think that Pawn's been playing slightly better than he used to, but it's just not enough to beat Faker in my opinion. Rascal played fine in the last series, and then Cuz did too. So I think that all around, I think SKT just wins in every lane. In every lane. I think even Teddy's playing better than when Teddy doesn't get forced on the Victor. I think he's playing better than pretty much every ADC in the league. But I don't know why they put him on Victor in both games during Griffin. Made no sense to me.
2-0 for SKT. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying 2-0.
I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be a 2-0 for SKT too.
The next that's Wednesday and Thursday is Damwon versus Afrika and Sandbox versus Jinair.
You want to do every single game?
We can quickly do it. It doesn't really matter.
Damwon versus Afrika?
Yeah.
I think
that's hard.
That's
kind of hard. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I think
it looks like hot garbage.
I don't think they look like hot garbage. I think that no, they do. Okay.
Damwon, if Damwon lose to them, that's sad. They're gonna just be mentally defeated after losing to them.
I'm pretty in my opinion. I think that Naguri is playing better than Keen right now. So that's something that I didn't expect to be saying at the beginning of the year. But
I think UCal is still one of the better mids in Korea, but he can't carry. They're too heavy.
Keen's just not been to the same. He's not been to the level, and I don't know what the kind of jungle situation is right now. So I don't even know who's gonna play for the jungle.
I'm gonna say Damwon win 2-1 because I do feel like Afrika's like cheese strategy can win them a game.
I don't know what the situation is with the jungle. I don't know if Spirit's gonna be playing jungle or support. I'm not even joking. Like, I don't know. It worked out for them, so they might just throw him in support again. But I'm not convinced enough about Afrika in general since they've had to resort to AP Jarvan support. I'm not convinced enough. It's like, again, that's kind of cool that they kind of switched up their situation, but they switched up like how you play the game, but that's not going to work consistently. So I'm going to say that Damwon wins this probably 2-0.
2-0, yeah. I mean, I think Afrika's cheese strategy can throw some people off guard and get them a game, but Damwon's not probably going to lose to them. If Damwon does lose to them, their mentality is going to be destroyed. They're not going to really bounce back probably.
So
Sandbox versus Jinair, that's a quick 2-0 for Sandbox, I think.
I mean, again, best player they have on Jinair is Malloring, and even that much, it's not incredible. So
Friday's games is Griffin versus KT, first one.
I mean, again, that's almost as bad as the. I mean, KT doesn't look that good.
Remember when back last year Griffin versus KT was like a hyped up matchup?
And KT won every single time.
Yeah. God, now look how the mighty have fallen. I think Griffin will win against them 2-0.
I think it's a straight up 2-0. Like, I don't think anybody, like, BDD gets stomped by Chovy, which is kind of... Chovy's the best mid laner in Korea right now.
He's better than Faker. That's sad.
Well, I don't know what the... Once the meta kind of shifts away from the Scion Galio, stop throwing him on that. I'm tired of it.
I mean, he said they're saving some picks.
Keep saving picks, but I still don't like it. Sword, absolutely, like, whoever they put in top lane for K2, I'm sure it's going to be Smeb again, but whoever they put in top for them, I think that Sword is going to demolish them. And then this bot lane, I don't think the bot... Again, I don't think they're a liability, but I just don't think they're strong, so I don't...
I think their bot lane's not their issue. They need to fix their top side. That's their issue.
I would still like to see this bot lane replaced, but I don't think they're the big...
No, that's a little bit unfair, though, because they're actually not that bad. They've actually been carrying a lot of dead weight to the top side.
Again...
The strong side is what they're supposed to be having.
Again, I agree that they're not terrible, but their ceiling is too low for a team that should be decent, because they have a lot of strong players on this team.
We don't know about that because their ceiling is only as high as the top side is allowing them, though.
No, I mean, again, we've seen what they're capable of just purely off the game. Like, obviously, I don't think if you want to make a world class team, you can't include Zenit or Gango. Like, either one of them are just not good enough. I think they're decent. I don't think they're a big liability, but this is honestly too important of a role for them to be able to make something happen.
Yeah, you go from what? Yeah. Arrow to Death to Zenit.
But as it stands right now, they're the most consistent part of this team.
I like them. Like they would look a lot better if the top side of the map wasn't so atrocious.
I still think they're bad though. I just don't like this team in general. Like all around, they're pretty bad.
Griffin win this one 2-0. Hanawa Life versus Kingzone.
Didn't we just say that? Oh, no, we did Freaka.
Hanawa Life versus Kingzone. I think Kingzone can beat them. I don't think this is gonna be another clown fiesta.
See, the thing about it is, Kingzone has unlike what I would say is Genji, who pretty much only have Ruler, I think that Kingzone has both, like, I think that all around Kingzone's players are kind of coming into form. I think that Rascal's playing a little bit better, Cuz is playing fine. The mid lane's playing a lot better, and then the bot lane obviously is the strongest part about this lane. So I think they're definitely going to make playoffs, and I think they're a step above everybody else that isn't, which is including Hanawa Life. So I think that, like, again, Rascal's playing... I think that Thal's playing a little bit better than Rascal, to be fair, but, like, Cuz is a lot better than Bono. Lava's just not on the same level as pretty much any competent mid laner in Korea. And then Sangyun is not nearly on the same level as Deft.
Oh, God.
Well, I mean,
Sangyun is not bad. I like Sangyun.
He's not nearly... I mean, he's not Deft, though. Again, I think that Tucson is probably going to be... In complete honesty, Key is probably playing better than Tucson, which is kind of surprising. I would not expect to be expected to have said this at the beginning of the year, but I think Key's playing pretty fine this year, but I don't think Hanawa Life really has that standout star for me to say that they're going to be beating pretty much any of these top-tier teams, which I'm going to be including Kingzone in that now. I don't think that Hanawa Life just has the player to do that.
I think if Songyun was on KT, then they'd be a lot better.
I agree with that. I think that Songyun would probably be a step up for KT.
But contracts are already locked in. Again, so this series, I'm gonna say Kingzone win it, but it's not gonna be. This is gonna be a clown fiesta game. I'm not watching this game. I'll just watch highlights in this one.
I think
Saturday games. So what happened?
I think it's gonna be a 2-1 for Kingzone since you didn't let me answer, big jerk.
God, I love you so much. All right, so this is going to be a really hard one for you to answer. SKT versus Genji.
I don't know. But, I think that the big strong point in... You having fun there? I think the big strong point in what I would say is Ruler is going to be pretty much canceled out by Teddy. I think that Teddy has been playing better than everybody on Genji. Though I think that Ruler is obviously the best player on this team. I think that Genji is just a step above. I think that... Teddy, when he's on ADC, is one of the best players in the league, and then Teddy, when he's on Victor, is one of the worst players in the league. I just don't see why they keep putting these competent players on this pick that obviously makes them uncomfortable. So as long as SKT kind of gets it into their heads to keep him, on top of the fact that I think, is this going to be on 6.3 or 6.2? I mean, 9 point... No, it's going to be on 9.2, never mind. Because they're going to actually be... reverting a lot of the ADC changes during 9.3, so I guess it's not going to come into effect yet, but when that happens, I think SKT is going to be one of the best teams in the league again.
It's hard to say.
Now, with the IE reverts and then some of the new items coming into effect, I really do think they're going to be the best team.
That's all. That means you're also counting in Griffin not applying these changes either.
Yeah, but they don't have the ADC to take over, unlike what I think that Teddy is going to do.
I mean, Viper has shown that
he's good, but I don't think he's as good on ADCs as Teddy is.
He's not, but he's shown that he can be a hard carry superstar.
Yeah, I agree with I wouldn't say a superstar. I don't think he's to that level, but I do think he's good.
Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, I'm saying SKT win this so easy. This might, like, I don't know. They could drag out a game against them, but this is the team that SKT should be like, we should be able to beat them pretty easy.
I mean, maybe.
If SKT can't beat them easy, then that shows kind of a problem.
I mean, they beat Hanawa Life pretty easily, so I would say that they should probably be able to do it to Gen G too, who I think is a worse team.
I never thought I'd be saying that. SKT win this, what, 2-0?
I would say 2-0. Yep.
Oh man, if we went to Korea that week and we were sightseeing, going around getting girls and going on limos, and they're like, you want to go watch some league? And I'm like, yeah. You want to go see Genji versus SKT and Jenner versus Damwon? Would you go?
Yeah, I would 100% go there. Well, I
Yeah.
would always, if somebody gave me tickets to to a Korean game, I'd just like to see what it's like.
You would want to see a Jenner versus Damwon.
I'd like to see anything, Joe, person.
JTH?
You're not JTA. Quit that, man.
God.
You can't keep making that joke because anybody who's just new to the channel is not going to know anymore.
Oh, yeah. I'm Nightwing, guys. He's JTH.
Thank you, man. You can't keep doing that.
All right. Jenner versus Damwon.
Jenner versus Damwon? I mean, I don't really know what to say about Jenner. I've kind of really already touched over them.
2-0 Damwon?
I think it's going to be a 2-0 Damwon. I think that Naguri is just way too much for Linderong to handle. I think that Showmaker's quite a bit above Grease.
Yeah.
Nuclear again.
Players
I think
not that bad. Nuclear is so good.
Nuclear is good. I think that Stitch is fine, but I just think all around Damwon, besides maybe the support, is pretty much more capable than a lot of these teams. Again, I think that Damwon is better than Hololive, even though they're at the same level right now. I mean, actually, Hololive has a better record, but I think that Damwon is obviously a little bit better than them. I think that that's probably going to be our top 5 teams. Is going to be Kingzone, Damwon, SKT, Sandbox, and Griffin by the end of the split.
So
What?
What a fall from grace we've all came to in Korea.
Well, I think
top team is Hanawa Life.
I think Hanawa Life has. I don't think Hanawa Life. I mean, they're really only one game above 3 of the teams, 4 of the teams actually. So they could easily go in one day. They can go from 5th to 9th. That's not even a joke. They could do that in one singular day.
True. And then the last day for our week 4 power rank. What's the predictions for LCK? Griffin versus Afrika. So what do you think about that? What do you think about that one?
I don't know what this like. I've touched over all of the teams by now, their strengths, and I just think that Griffin all around just overpowers Afrika. Like, what they don't win in a singular lane. I think that their best player in UCal is just not even near Chovy right now. Chovy has been a complete upgrade. Like, he's absolutely outshot. Like, what he did last year is not even comparable to this year. He's been a complete step up.
Oh yeah, like people said he was the weak link.
He was the weak link last year though. Like, it was just him and Lehens.
I don't think Lehens was as a weak link as Chovy was.
Well, again, I think those are the 2 weakest parts of the team, and it's been a complete those are 2 of the stronger players now.
His KDA was legendary. Oh my god, and it just got ruined. He didn't die for 4 weeks. How do you do that as a mid laner? That's ridiculous. The last game for week 4 predictions for LCK is Sandbox versus KT Roaster.
Sandbox versus KT Roaster? I honestly let me see.
Yeah, that'll happen on Sunday. So guys, today we did because we haven't looked at Korea in a while, so I decided to just put them all together. We recapped LCK week 3 and stuff like that, and we're looking back at it, and then we just threw on our week 4 LCK.
I don't even know what to title this because I don't even know what we did this
LCK
video.
Week 3 recap and week 4 LCK.
LCK. I'll just capitalize it because it was just about everything.
What world?
LCK and you complaining about not going to All Stars. That's gonna be the title.
What world did we predict where Sandbox is beating KT consistently?
Like, you know what? Sandbox was not like, again, they made it, but no one predicted this. Like they said On Fleek was good. Ghost the previous year was terrible, man. On BBQ,
Yeah.
he was terrible. Like he was absolutely atrocious. I guess that was kind of like the problem from the team being terrible, but he was bad. He had the worst stats.
Ignore was not that good. Trick was imported over for I don't know what reason.
But like Ghost had the worst stats in the entire league for ADCs, and now he's become like a stable part of this team.
But you said don't look at stats though.
What's up? I mean, again, that means something. If the whole team is struggling, you have to look at something. What's happening? Like obviously the team was struggling in general. Somebody that has the worst stats in the entire league, that means something. If the stats are that bad, like it was just all around. Ghost was just not playing well, but he's been a complete upgrade this year. I really did think because the previous year, even before BBQ, he looked like the new up and coming talent for Korea. So I'm kind of happy he's turned it around.
Same. Wait, guys, he's mean to me.
So anything else you want to say?
I think the thing with KT is that even if we go through their games this week, we don't know if we're gonna get an exact roster. They need to settle on an exact roster to know what they're gonna have to work with in playoffs if they even are gonna make it.
I mean, at this point, they need to keep testing stuff out because their situation right now is just too much of a mess.
I think you need to play Zenit, BDD, Score, and keep switching out the. I don't know because I think people are overrating the Smeb atrocious like performances. Akali into Urgot is atrocious for Akali.
I mean, again, it's not. Akali does lose that, but not terribly. We saw how that worked out in Bjergsen versus Demonte.
Is that really a comparison?
I mean, Demonte won that. I mean, again, he was up by 20 CS. The thing about it is...
getting dove constantly, jungle focused, only Akali too.
Yeah, again, I still think Urgot wins that lane, but that's just because Urgot wins every lane.
Why don't they ban that? He'll just keep letting it go through. God.
The singular... I've only seen one counter ever, and it's Rammus. Because Rammus's W makes you damage yourself, and he auto attacks 3 times per second.
Oh god, the days of Urgot being bad compared to what he used to be compared to what he is now is ridiculous.
Everybody needs to pick Rammus and Urgot so people still stop playing it in my ranked games. I just want to...
Why don't you just ban Urgot?
Because then I can't ban Janna.
That's not a... Don't listen to... If you listen to this part, timestamp this part, and you get to hear what he just said.
You know what? Janna is my elo. If you ban the Janna, they don't know what to do. Because that's all they play to get... The people... The Diamond elo Jannas don't know what to do. I'm sorry. Like, if you ban their Janna, they pick Bard and they just run at you. I'm sorry. That's just... It's fun.
Oh, God. I think that KT need to not over... They look like the organization that always seems to over analyze what really goes on. I don't think Smeb has been that bad as people have been making out to be. He's definitely gotten counterpicked, and he's getting dove constantly, being focused by the jungler constantly. He's going through a similar situation as like what Dyrus went to, and it made Dyrus look way worse than what he was actually looking like. I think you can't overthink certain situations when a player have a bad performance. Like they're looking at just KDA and going and his stats and going, okay, he went 0-4 on a call against Urgot. Okay, he needs to be switched out. Like, how do you think that makes him feel? He's the team captain.
He should be the team captain. Honestly, I feel...
That's all you've got left.
I mean, you have to make things happen. If he's not making things happen as the team captain, it needs to be said. Like, he didn't make things happen.
Switched out.
Yeah, he should have been. Like, he was not playing well the entire year.
Zenit's playing worse.
I mean, Zenit is not playing worse. Zenit and Ganjo are playing better than Smeb.
Who is their top lane replacement?
Kingjin.
King is playing even worse.
I agree with that, but again, you had to try something.
I think it's not going to help them in the long term if they keep trying it because King is not even close to a step up as Smeb.
Smeb's not playing well. Like, again, I think that Kingston's just barely coming into the league, so maybe give him a few more games, and if he doesn't come up to form, then just get rid of him.
What do you think about Score?
I mean, Score, again, is just playing fine. I think that Score is just Score, but I don't... What are you doing?
I'm blowing off dust on my mouse.
I thought you were spraying, like, that spray on butter.
Wait,
A little, you know, can't believe it's not butter. Whatever.
I can't believe your jokes suck.
That wasn't a joke. That was just a statement. But okay. I think that King Jin is gonna be give him a few more games to see if he can come to form. He's new to the league. If he can't, then just keep playing Smeb. But Smeb's just like he's been in the league too long. Last year he was pretty bad.
I don't know about that.
I don't.
There's too many superstars, and like on a team like that, he's not gonna look like the best on a team full of superstars.
I mean, Mata did. Mata looked great. Deft looked great. I mean,
I
UCal looked great.
Deft didn't look that. Smeb looked better than Deft.
No, he did not. Deft looked like one of the best players on that team.
He looked like at certain points that he was the liability.
Deft looked amazing last year. What are you talking
He
about?
was throwing against like IG. He looked like the liability. He was getting outplayed by Jackie Love. Like,
I mean, Jackie Love's great, but I don't think you can reference one situation and say that means the rest of the year. Like,
oh, I can. I'm one of those people.
Smeb literally was probably the worst player on that team last year.
That's not saying a lot, though.
I mean, it's not. It was the super team. I agree with that, but he was just not up to standard. If you're gonna build a team around anybody, it could have been UCal. UCal's new to the league. He's a superstar coming into the making. I guess he's not a shot caller. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
But Smeb's obviously not a good shot caller.
I just don't think replacing the team captain midway through a series is like the most effective way. You should play Kingdon first, then play Smeb.
I mean, I'm sorry. Smeb needs a wake up call if that's anything, because he's been not him.
Yeah.
This has been too much. He's been completely off form recently. So, as it stands right now, Sandbox is gonna win the series 2-0. I just don't
that's
see.
so sad.
It's sad to say. I think that scores obviously be it like all of them are playing fine. Smeb's been playing pretty terrible. The ADC is still pretty mediocre, but there's not much you can do about it. You didn't even get a backup support, so you can't do anything about that.
Snowflare's not actually even that bad.
I know, again, but you don't have a choice. Like I feel like they should have got a backup for everything.
Kind of like what SKT did last year. They had a backup for everything. Oh god, but yeah, that's our looking back at LCK for week 3 and our week 4 LCK power rankings. Is there anything else you want to say?
Say? Want me to say
Anything
words?
else you want to say?
I don't really want to say nothing. No.
We covered MVPs, power rankings, standings. Man,
I want you to tell me what this video should be called, because you just jammed everything into it.
Jammed everything. Well, because we don't really get a chance to look at like LCK that much, so. Like we watch it separately, and it's really hard to do predictions. You said it's hard to do predictions for every single thing, so I thought I could just combine 2 weeks together and get it all done.
Well, it's been, I mean, I guess, but there's just a jam-packed thing of. I don't even.
Said they love the podcast videos that we do. So
who says that?
The subscribers love it. They watch.
Who said that?
They love it. They like the videos.
He's making things up to try and convince. Okay, whatever. That's pretty much it. I don't know what to say now. I'm JTH, not him. And
okay, if you guys do like this, please comment and say you loved it. So it gets him off my back.
This is 47 minutes, man.
I love it.
All right, see you later.
This will get us into our podcast training.